Hey tankers, this is Zem from Shrike Gaming, bringing a little M6 play today. This is probably one of my favorite Tier 6, especially for Tier 6 Heavy. This thing has got such a great gun on it. The 90 millimeter is very, very good. This game, you'll notice I fire a ton of premium shells. I was having one of them days where I'd been almost one-shotted by a GC in my E100, and my mouse got wrecked by 3 artillery. So I was having one of those not a happy moment. So I jumped into my M6 and I decided to play a couple games in it. And in this game, we have our Lakeville. Now, if anybody's not familiar with it, the center road is typically, especially if you have a good light tank, he will light everything crossing the B and A line. And being the M6 is a fairly mobile Tier 6 heavy, I moved up rather quickly, hoping that he would spot some tanks. And right off the bat, he did. He picked out a T25 and a T20. And this is actually, this position right here is kind of it's a good one because this position can really change the course of the game. And as you notice, we've already put a bunch of hurt and knocked out one tank already. I think we're going to declassive his life, but I think we did end up with a lot more HP knocked off of this the enemy team. Now, typically, especially in this game, it was a little worrying when I first saw who had gone to Valley on the 2 line. 3 Tier 7s, 3 of our top tier tanks decided to go Valley. Valley is not a good place to be in just about anything, especially not an Onai and a Tiger 1. It's a swampy ground, crappy maneuverability, and the other team does have an arty. So that would be the last place I would take a heavy. These two decided to go into Valley and just happened to run into a fair amount of enemy tanks. Kind they're all lower tier tanks, but it's still not a place that you really want to be, especially with an artillery piece. And I do believe that Grill ended up with a very, very healthy amount of damage, just because of getting those guys sitting where they were. He was able to pick off a lot of players. And like I said, the 1-2 line is not someplace I would go just with about any tank. I mean, a lot of times you can defend just that with an artillery piece and a TD, or a couple TDs. But I digress. Like I said, those 3 were. It's not a good place to be, especially in a town map. 3 of our high tier tanks go there, and yeah, you'll see later in the game exactly what happens. So after I do my little snipe from the center road, I do push right into town, knowing full well we needed to clear this thing out as fast as we could by looking at the amount of sheer red that's in the valley. And we run into some relatively low tier tanks, some 6s, a couple 7s, and started knocking out tanks. KV2 was kind of not a really priority target, but it's nice to get that derp gun out of the way and not have to worry about getting slammed by a 700 damage shell. And so it was nice to see him gone. This Tiger P next to me here plays a pretty good game. He actually does use his armor, uses his HP, gets involved in the fight, which is what you're supposed to do in a Tier 7 heavy, not hang out in that valley. And we finish off 2 Tier 7s here as we lose 2 Tier 7s in the valley. Now, at this point, this is what sometimes do with map awareness. My team seems to fail to see the massive rush of red coming down the valley, and only one green player left, being the Tiger 1. And they continue on up to toward the cap, which is fine. The valley is a lot slower going, but at least 2 of those tanks on the enemy team are fairly quick. So it's not something that we're going to be able to cap out because of the fact that there's 2 heavies are not going to get capped very fast. Now, they do realize finally that we are not going to be able to to cap it. And unfortunately, when they do, they also abandon the VK to the ISU and the Skoda. But I had turned around as soon as I saw the Valley losing, and decided I better come back and reset cap just in case. Now on this tank I run coated optics. I usually run coated optics on most of my tanks, even my heavies, just because for something for this reason, and not only that, you also increase your obviously your spotting distance, which increases your XP if you get any assisted damage. So in this situation, this actually really works out well for me, using my coated optics and a fairly decent crew. I'm grinding this tank up, so for tier 6 strongholds, in case we ever do use heavies, this is an excellent heavy for that. And I seem to be having problems hitting anything. But like I said, once we do get some spots on these tanks, I start knocking out low health tanks as much as I can. Once I reset, then it's just a matter of knowing that the A44 is the one that has the cap points, and putting the shell into him resets the cap. And then for some reason I seem to have trouble with this KV1 and actually hitting him. And as you notice, the KV1 actually has, being a tier 5 heavy, he does not have the view range, and once I get out far enough away he loses me, but I'm still quite easily able to see him and knock out another low health tank, leaving the A44. And once again, like I said, this 90mm on this tank is unreal. There, you see I sniped out his cupola at fairly easy, and allowed me to reset it. Now I would probably have kept shooting at the M4, but I had saw this Skoda trying to sneak up the side, and this is one of the times where you want to take the opportunity to protect your teammates' flanks. And like I said, once I'd hit him, he decided to turn around and back off. And everything kind of really lined up well for me in this situation. A lot of low health tanks, and they just kind of stuck themselves out there for me and lined up nicely for me to kill. And at this point, I'm already up to 10 kills, and with 2 tanks left and 2 pretty healthy teammates. So now, as you notice at this point, that the 2 heavies decide that they were going to turn and go toward the Valley, and which makes me kind of scratch my head. That's not, once again, the Valley is not a place you go with heavies, especially with the bad ground resistance on heavies, and it literally would take him from the J line to get to the E line would be a better than 2 minutes. I actually do ping the map and try to get them to go back up mid, and thankfully they did listen. Going back up mid gives us a chance to create somewhat of a crossfire, either them spotting or me spotting, and it allows us to support each other. Now if they'd gone down the 1-2 line, I would have no support, and it would have left me kind of vulnerable. I don't think I would have kept pushing if they would have kept on going down the 1-2, but it's also, why would you take all 3 tanks and just simply go down the 2 line and create no crossfire or no flanking maneuvers or none of that. And once again, once you popped over the E line, you're going to be facing an ISU 122. At this point, I actually didn't know how many hit points he has, but ISU 122 has got one of the best DPMs in game, and there's a very good chance he could have DPM'd us out, especially if we couldn't spot him laying back there in the A1. And then not only that, they still had an artillery piece. So it was good that these guys listened and decided to come up the center line. I mean, that's what is teamwork. If you're not supporting each other and keeping your guns where you can support your teammates, there is really no you're not going to be successful. And in this situation, they did listen and they come back, and we certainly will have 3 guns to bear on what we have left for an enemy. They're still pushing up the corner, and I was literally going to wait for him to get almost to the corner here. Like I said, I'm still here trying to use my view range. This is still a low crew. I just think I have BIA on it, and that's it. Once I get some more perks on situational awareness, whatever, my view range is going to increase a little bit. But it's still got pretty respectable view range for a heavy tank, especially at tier 6. And like I said, just sitting here waiting for them to get up here and start cap, which should draw the other two out. And like I said, once they hit cap, then I wanted to start moving up and see if I can get shots. And thank goodness the ISU ends up being out behind the B1 line, which lets me continue to move up. So I could either try to flank him or take some shots on him that he can't absolutely see me. So like at this point, I'm almost to cap when I do spot the grill, and I was able to roll a pretty nice damage roll to finish him off, leaving just the ISU 122S left. Now these guys are pretty nice about it. I think this T150 actually takes a shot for me just to see, make sure I can get the 12 kills, and the Tiger 1 or the Tiger P is still kind of baiting him out too and lets me come around on in behind the ISU. I mean, yeah, I can take a shot from him, but always there's that weird chance I'll probably take a get ammo racked or something like that. And then it was just a simple matter of taking a nice snapshot while his gun was up in the air to finish it off for 12 kills. This is a really good game for me in the M6. I ended up with a Defender high caliber 3.5K. Obviously, and a crap ton of medals too for it because of the amount of kills I had and damage. So yeah, it was a really good game. I'm still really starting to love the M6. I don't remember playing it. I played it so long ago, and I just started picking it up again, and it's really turning out to be one of my favorite tier 6s because of its mobility in that gun. So well, thanks for watching, and I'll be putting up some more videos here shortly, and you guys have a good night. Thank you.